We know climate change is a threat that's already impacting our futures, but it's hard to know how to actually prepare for it.
One thing we can do is find somewhere that's going to be relatively safe for us to live in the decades to come. Some people have started calling these places climate havens.
So today we're diving into two questions. What exactly is a climate haven, and do they even exist?
First of all, haven is a strong word, and it makes it seem like there's a place where we can avoid the impacts of climate change entirely. But even for those places that are relatively well positioned for the decades ahead of us, claiming that anywhere is a climate haven can be misleading, like in the case of Asheville, North Carolina, which we'll get into in just a minute.
So instead of chasing the myth of perfect climate safety at Where Next, we evaluate places using 7 factors to consider our future homes from the angles that matter. Weather and climate hazard risk, water supply, food security, government and infrastructure, economic opportunity and cost of living, social stability and health, and vibe check, because you probably want to like where you live.
Imagine. These aren't the only things that define a climate haven, but it's what we'll use to score places based off of climate resilience and livability here on this channel. We're not going to pretend to find places that are magically immune from climate change. Instead, we're looking for places that are honestly assessing their risks and actively building resilience. Places that understand climate change isn't something you escape from, it's something you prepare for together.
So let's talk about what happened in Asheville in 2024. For years, it topped those climate haven lists. Mild mountain climate, far from hurricanes, progressive city planning, it seemed pretty perfect. But when Hurricane Helene hit in September 2024, Asheville's geography told a different story. Those beautiful Appalachian mountains that usually keep it protected, they actually concentrated Helene's rainfall down into the valleys, bringing down over 24 inches in just 3 days. To put that in perspective, scientists say a 16.5-inch rainfall would be a once-in-a-thousand-year flood. Asheville got 50% more than that seemingly impossible amount during Hurricane Helene.
When the hurricane hit, Asheville's water mains couldn't handle it. The stormwater systems weren't designed for climate-amplified rainfall, and 370 electrical substations got destroyed. Buncombe County is shaped like a bowl, and as one expert put it, there's really nowhere for the water to go except downslope. Hurricane Helene turned what seemed like a climate refuge into what experts called a textbook case of cascading infrastructure failures. This isn't about Asheville being a bad place to live, but even well-positioned climate haven cities can't luck their way out of every natural disaster. We need to think more honestly about what resilience looks like.
And the term climate haven already comes with some baggage. Jesse Keenan, the Tulane professor who accidentally helped popularize it back in 2018, now says bluntly, there's no such thing as a climate haven. Billy Fleming from the University of Pennsylvania calls the whole idea an escapist fantasy. Cities will promote themselves as climate havens. Done irresponsibly, it's just marketing disguised as climate science.
But regardless of whether we're using the right terms, people are clearly looking for a safe place to land. In 2022 alone, 3.2 million US adults were displaced or evacuated due to natural disasters. And a year later, 500,000 of them still hadn't returned. We're not talking about some theoretical climate migration. It's already happening.
So if perfect climate havens don't exist, what are we looking for? Places that are honest about their risks and building what it's going to take to adapt. Take Copenhagen. They turned their parks into massive stormwater management systems that can handle large amounts of rainwater while still being beautiful community spaces. In the Netherlands, instead of building higher seawalls, their Room for the River project moved communities back and gave rivers the space to flood safely. Instead of fighting a battle they'd eventually lose, they decided to work within the changes they see coming and give people the resources they need to do it proactively before they'd ever have to be displaced.
The real question isn't where can I hide from climate change? It's where are communities building social and physical infrastructure to adapt together? That's why when we score places under climate resilience, we take into account those 7 factors. There's no one thing that's going to make a place climate change proof.
Finding tomorrow's most resilient communities means looking beyond the story and stats on the surface and digging into how these places are actually preparing for an uncertain future.
What are your thoughts on climate havens? And what are your priorities in figuring out where to settle for the future? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.
And if you want to be the first to get new videos on finding that next great place to live, hit subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.